Hi, good morning everyone, and welcome back to another week of SGA Live. We have a couple announcements today, but not many, and then later we're going to have a really good interview with Professor Taten Shirley, so definitely stick around for that. First up, on Wednesday, March 2nd, so that's tomorrow, the softball team is going to have a doubleheader against Brenau University, maybe? At 1 p.m. and at 3 p.m. on the softball field, so definitely come out for that. Friday and Saturday of this week, so that's the 4th and the 5th, the baseball team plays at 6 p.m. on the 4th and 1 p.m. on the 5th at the baseball field. Summer and fall registration for classes begins on March 7th, so if you're going to register for classes in the fall, you can start that on March 7th, and definitely try to do it quick because it's just better to get it out the way. Panel of professionals will be hosted by Career Services, so that's going to be a talk with a group of panelists in their particular profession for criminal justice, biology, psychology, and computer science. So if you're one of those majors, you should definitely come out on March 9th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Lastly, Jamboree tickets went on sale today. So you can buy tickets for the April 1st and 2nd show, and then the faculty and staff show and student night is on Thursday, March 31st. So you can come to that for free if you're a student, and if you're not, you should buy a ticket for April 1st or 2nd. Okay, actually not lastly, also book club is March 10th in Gus Nichols Library at 3 p.m. So bring a friend and a book that changed your life. So anyway, that's it, and stick around. Our guest, Professor Taten Shirley. So we're going to ask her a couple questions about herself. She's a great books professor here at Faulkner University. So tell us about yourself. Where are you from, and about your family?
Well, my dad was in the Army, so my parents are from Alabama, but I lived kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. I always have a hard time answering where I'm from. So now I've lived the longest in Alabama, but I also lived in Augusta, Georgia 3 different times, El Paso, Texas, Oklahoma, and Germany.
Where were you born?
Columbus, Georgia, but I only lived there for like 6 months, and then we moved to Germany.
Oh, wow. Do you know any German?
No. We were there from I was a baby to 3, so I have a few memories, but nothing, I don't remember the language at all.
It's still cool to be able to say that. So what about, how's your family?
Oh, yeah, so I've been married 10 years, and I have, a little over 10 years, and I have a 9-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. Oh. So now they're both at ages where they're both doing sports, and so my life has become exponentially busier as they get
what sports do they do?
So right now is an especially busy time because the sports are overlapping seasons.
Oh,
So they're wrapping up basketball, which they just play Upward at Frazier, mm-hmm. but then starting softball and baseball. So this week we have softball, baseball, and basketball practice.
But they're going to be winners by the end.
Yeah. Well, probably not, but they have fun, so that's all that matters.
Okay, so why do you teach? What do you love about teaching?
So I have always been kind of a bossy person. When I was little, if I knew how to do something and a friend didn't, I was bound and determined, I'm going to show you how to show people how to do cartwheels and dive off the diving board and all of these. I've always been let me figure out how to explain this to somebody else. But now I knew that what interested me was diving deep into these subjects that I love and then getting to talk about it with students. And so I like that I teach a variety of subjects. So in Western tradition, it is a lot of me talking. And I try to bring in some discussion and get the students to talk a little bit more. This is the first semester that I've kind of played around with that and even offered like extra participation points if they talk and ask more questions and stuff to get them to talk more. But ultimately, we have a lot of material to cover, and so it's just me talking. So Great Books is the class that, you know, whenever I get a chance to teach a Great Books class, I will, because that's the real like discussion and really getting to hear from students and stuff like that I really love.
Yeah. Great Books is the best. Great Books is my favorite class. Okay, so tell us something about yourself that most of us don't know, that we should know.
Okay. I don't know if you should know this necessarily, but I was not a very good student in my undergrad. And now I'm finishing my PhD, and I just submitted the final draft of my dissertation yesterday, actually. And I am so sad that I'm done with school. And, like, you would think that, like, it would be, like, my husband was like, do you feel just, like, relief? And I'm like, no, I really feel sad.
I want to go to more class.
So you would think that somebody who, like, now really loves school and loves education, but in my undergrad, I was an English major, and so science and math classes and even political science, like, I skipped class a lot. I did the bare minimum, and I mean, I went to Auburn, so it was a larger university, so I didn't have professors like reaching out to me like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, you know, like we try to do it Auburn, but and so that's something that I think now I would love to go back and retake math and science classes, like, honestly, and that sounds so nerdy, but I mean, it's just, I know that I kind of wasted that experience. When I was 18, 19, I had no interest in political science, to the point where when I, was really out on my own, now it's like, well, I have to learn all this stuff about politics that I have taken a class on that I actually don't know because I didn't take advantage of that. So that's the biggest thing that I think I have this love of learning now, but I definitely have not always been that way.
Yeah. But I think that's really a good thing that people should know about you. It makes you more relatable to your students.
Well, I hope so.
Although
I would say, please don't make my mistakes.
You know what you should do, though, is you guys should start a teacher TED Talk where you all give TED Talks to each other. And then you can learn stuff about each other's disciplines.
That is actually a really good idea.
So there we go. Teacher TED Talk. Okay, now tell us about your most embarrassing moment. It can be at Faulkner or in your entire life, whatever you want.
Okay, I could not really think of what my most embarrassing moment is, but I do have an embarrassing moment at Faulkner, and that is that I have fallen on campus in between the business building and the rotunda, those steps. And not only did I fall, I could not get up. Like, I literally, it was like, I forgot the last step, basically. I thought I was done with the steps, and I was not. And so my foot bent all the way backwards. So, like, I scraped, like, where your foot and your ankle meets, I scraped right there on the concrete. That's how far back it bent. Yeah, it's kind of gross. And so, at first when you fall, you're like, oh, that's embarrassing. And I, like, tried to stand up, and I was like, nope. Like, there's no way I can move. And so this student who I didn't even know was like, are you okay? And I was like, I didn't really know. And so he ran and got the golf cart from admissions to take me to my car. I mean, he didn't know who I was.
Wow.
Like,
a good citizen.
Yes, it was so nice of him, because I was like, honestly, I have no idea what to do. And then it was my right foot, so I got to my car, but then I had to call somebody else to drive me urgent care because I couldn't drive. And so, and I was like, I had a boot. It was just a really bad sprain. I didn't break anything. It didn't break anything.
Okay. Well,
but I remember, like, when I showed up to class the next day and I was on crutches, the students were like, so is class canceled? And I was like, yes, I have crutched my way across campus to come to class to let you know that class is canceled. No, we're having class. Like, no. So,
oh, man.
They were hopeful.
Yes.
That's hilarious. But I am sorry that happened to you.
It was hopeful. Like, luckily there were not many people around.
Yeah.
I was glad that one guy was around, but I know of, no one else saw me.
Okay, if you had one wish for Faulkner, what would it be?
Okay, so when I thought about this question, my mind went very big for like ultimate goals of Faulkner, but then like I think what I really care the most about right now is I wish students would buy into chapel. And that has been, I've talked to Dean Kane about that before, how much it bothers me. And I think this year has been a little bit better. And I think, everybody's kind of trying different strategies and doing different things to make it more interesting and make students care more. But I just, I think Faulkner would benefit so much more if students really showed up to chapel and gave it a chance and participated, or at least if you don't feel comfortable singing, don't have AirPods in or whatever they're called, earbuds in, and then just give the speaker a chance. And not everybody is going to be, the best speaker you've ever heard, but I think they would get a lot more out of it than they realize if they listened. So,
agreed. That's a good wish. Okay, that brings us to the end. So last thing we're going to do is ask you, do you have any shout outs that you would like to give today?
I would like to give a shout out to all the great book students who are about to defend their thesis.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we have this record number of GB defenses.
Yeah, it's like
that
Ben, Peyton, Caitlin, there's so many of them.
Yeah, Abigail,
Nikki.
2 Allisons, Nikki. And so all of them, I know it's coming in a month and a half, and I'm sure they are feeling the pressure of their senior year and all these other things, but I'm really proud of them, and I hope they have a good, they feel comfortable when they get to their defense, and because I know that they've worked really hard. So,
and everyone should come out and watch those defenses too. Don't forget. Okay. SGA Live signing off. Soar Eagles.